Angelo Sapiens and the Serpent Stone by K. Balamurugan. Chapter 1. A Beautiful Boy and the Book.
Hey,
Clara
Clara.
walked slowly along the corridor, enjoying nature's aromatherapy,
Clara.
the sharp scent of wet earth jasmine from
Welcome to my
actinomyces
fancy
bacteria, while forcing a polite smile at Professor Shish before stepping into the classroom. The warmth of that lingering scent seemed to follow her inside, settling, softening, and then it shifted. It shifted because of a boy sitting at the last desk, not a face she had seen before in biopharmaceuticals and drug development. A handsome boy, handsome in a way that wasn't immediate, but quietly undeniable. Clara slid into her seat, careful not to look at him for more than a second at a time. She stumbled slightly, but he didn't notice. He was still scrolling through his phone. Avra, already seated, leaned toward her. "Do you know who that is?" she whispered, her eyes flicking toward the boy. Clara shook her head. More students trickled in, but no one approached him until Joshua dropped into the empty seat nearby. "Hey bro, new here?" "Yeah," the boy said. His voice was low, resonant. "Transfer student." Clara felt that voice in her chest. How do you describe a voice like that in one word? Powerful, commanding, neither quite fit. "Your name?" Joshua asked. "Gabriel." "Yours?" "Joshua. Call me Josh." "Cool. So how did you transfer here? It's already been a month since the semester started." Gabriel shrugged lightly. "It's Stanford. You take any chance you get. And my dad has connections." He laughed. "I like your honesty," Josh said, grinning. Clara could tell half the room was pretending to check their phones while listening, especially the girls and Calvin, who identifies himself as one. Her thoughts drifted for a moment before snapping back as Josh spoke again. "So Gab," he said, taking the liberty of shortening his name, "where are you staying?" Before Gabriel could answer, Professor Sparta entered. "Good morning. Submit your projects on recent clinical trial advances in your disease of interest," he said in one continuous stream without pause. Josh groaned, just a little too loudly. "You have a problem, Mr. Joshua?" "Sir, no, sir," Josh replied instantly, sitting upright in an exaggerated military posture. A ripple of laughter passed through the room. As Sparta moved forward, he spotted Gabriel. "There he is. Welcome, Mr. Gabriel," he said. "Gabriel is a transfer from Israel. I trust you'll make friends quickly and catch up with the syllabus." "Thank you, Professor Sparka," Gabriel replied. The class laughed again. "Sparta," the professor corrected. Josh leaned toward Gabriel. "Hey, 2 words." Gabriel raised an eyebrow. "What?" "Free Palestine." A brief grin passed between them as Sparta began collecting projects. Clara sank into her chair, her eyes following the movement of Professor Sparta's hand across the greenwood, trying to force her mind to focus. This was her least favorite class, mostly memorizing the names of recently approved drugs and the scraps of clinical data attached to them. She preferred mechanisms and basic cell biology. Still, she knew this would help her understand and build genome engineering tools, like Geoffrey L. Smith's work on viral vectors or retroviral like endogenous delivery systems inspired by Feng Zhang's lab. Clara loved science. To her, it was an ocean, something you could swim through endlessly. As she took notes, her mind betrayed her, drifting back to Gabriel, piecing together whatever she had managed to catch in those brief seconds. His skin held a tanned, almost luminous undertone as though light bent slightly to follow him. The lines of his face were clean and deliberate, the kind sculptors spent a lifetime chasing. High cheekbones, a straight nose, a jawline too precise to be accidental. More than anything, his face carried a quiet friendliness. His eyes were impossible to name, blue or green, shimmering somewhere between ocean blue and coral green, as though they carried their own shifting weather. His hair fell in soft, unruly waves, the kind that looked accidental yet perfect, catching the overhead light like threads of bronze. There was no smile on his lips, yet nothing cold in his expression. It was as if his very presence carried a quiet assurance of power, a friendly kind of power, not worn like armor, but inherited, effortless. Clara wanted to look at him again. Unable to resist, she turned, then quickly lowered her gaze. Her eyes landed on his hands. The veins stood out, prominent beneath his skin. Even that adds something to his manliness, she thought. When the bell rang, she glanced back once more. This time he looked up. His gaze was steady, too steady. For a moment, Clara felt as if he could see past her words and into the marrow of her thoughts. Could he be a vampire or a werewolf, like in Twilight? She had seen the first movie. She liked it well enough, but never bothered with the rest. She was more of a Harry Potter kind of girl. She didn't believe in that whole eternal soulmate idea. She just wanted to marry a good looking guy, not movie star good looking, just decent, clean, the kind who shaved regularly and didn't wear leather pants. And one day she wanted her own research lab and contribute to science. So, Josh, who is this new friend of yours? Katie asked as Professor Sparta left and everyone began packing their bags. Pretty Katie. Clara didn't exactly dislike her, but she wasn't a fan either. Not because Katie was mean, she wasn't. If anything, she was annoyingly nice and gorgeous. She knew her perfect foundation shade, wore fitted clothes that always looked effortless, and had mastered the no makeup look. She had a flock of admirers, plenty of friends, and a couple of loyal sidekicks. This is Gab, and Gab, Katie, the ugliest girl on campus, Josh said. Let him decide that. Katie replied smoothly, her eyes locking onto Gabriel. Hi, Gabriel said. You have a great voice, Katie noted, tilting her head slightly. Ooh, Josh teased. Thanks, Gabriel said, a shy smirk forming. Great, Clara thought.